Hello everyone, my name is Angelica and welcome to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with more fall DIY projects. If you haven't seen my previous ideas, I will link them for you up here and also down below. And as I mentioned in my previous video, pumpkin for me is a symbol of fall and I like using it to decorate my home. So I've decided to create decorative pumpkin out of two products, air dry clay and plaster of Paris. So without any further ado, let's get right into the first project. To create pumpkin out of plaster of Paris, you will need some thin tights. Color, of course, doesn't matter. You can also use your old ones as long as they don't have any hole. Take the bottom part and create knot. This way you create better and more round shape for your pumpkin. Then cut the rest of the fabric off, about 20 centimeters away from the knot. And repeat on the other leg if you want to create two pumpkins. The ideal ratio for a plaster of Paris mixture is 3 parts of plaster powder to 1 part water. But you can see it by eye when it's the right consistency. It can't be too watery as it might go through the fabric, but it can't be too thick as it dries out so quick and you won't have enough time to create pumpkin shape. Mix it well to avoid any lumps. Take your sock and put it inside container, wrapping its ends around the container edge. It will make the filling process much easier. And then start moving your plaster inside the sock. Of course, more you put in, the bigger pumpkin you will achieve. Leave the sock up and shake it to spread the plaster evenly. Move it onto a plate and tie the knot at the top. As I've said before, plaster of Paris sets quick, so you have to be also quick with creating the pumpkin stands. And to make them, I'm using cord which I wrap around the ball in few places. Pull the cord so it actually squeezes the ball shape. And in this position, I leave it till it's fully dry. I've left it for about 24 hours to be sure it's fully cured. I cut the string first and then gently remove the fabric. Nylon created really nice texture to this plaster. It almost looks like the baking soda paint effect. I've decided to go for very autumn vibe and paint this pumpkin orange. Even that I'm not the biggest fan of this color, I quite like this shade of orange. It's acrylic paint and it gives a really good coverage. And for my second pumpkin, I've mixed the same orange paint with some white one to achieve more of the pastel orange color. For the pumpkin stems, I'm going to use these plastic stems from my other polystyrene pumpkins. You can use whatever you want, like wooden stick or thick rope. I basically glue my stems in the middle using hot glue. Cut small piece of the clay and knead it between your hands. Clay becomes soft, which makes it easy to work with. Create ball shape out of your piece. Press it slightly down to make it flat on the top. Take any tool which you will be able to create lines with. I'm using this wooden knife which I bought with other useful tools specially for working with clay. Before I start creating the dents on my ball shape, I have to smooth the whole surface out. I take some water and rub the clay, making it nice and seamless. I create two small holes, one on the top of the ball and one on the bottom. They will help me to trace straight lines around the clay. Altogether, I create 4 long lines around the ball, creating the pumpkin's dents. Now it's time to make those lines slightly bigger and deeper. I take different tool and almost poke the spare clay out. Then I press it slightly down, creating space for the stem. I go again along these lines, this time to smooth it all out. To create pumpkin stem, I take small piece of clay and roll it between my hands. I form some kind of cone, and then to add more of the realistic look, I engrave lines along this cone shape. I make few cuts on top of my pumpkin, like also on the bottom of the stem, and then I attach these two parts together. So this was the first way of making decorative pumpkin out of clay. It's good when you create small pumpkins. Option number 2 is for bigger projects when you don't want to use too much clay. I take a piece of kitchen foil and form it into ball shape. This will be the inside part of my new pumpkin. I try to press it from each side to avoid sharp edges which the foil creates. Then I take a bigger piece of clay and using rolling pin I roll it out flat. Not too thin as the foil might create the holes, but also not too thick as this is the idea of using less clay. I take the flat piece and wrap it around the foil ball. Cut the excess clay and start rolling the whole ball between your hands. Any gaps just fill with other pieces of clay. Now it's time to make sure the whole ball is nice and smooth. At first I go around with some water. Then I take the wooden knife and get rid of any lines and imperfections. Repeating the process as with the first pumpkin, I create the lines around the clay. They don't have to be perfect or in the same distance. It makes it more realistic when you don't pay too much attention to it. For bigger pumpkin, I created slightly bigger stem. I left it till fully dry, which in this case was 48 hours. Once they are dry, paint them in your favorite color or create unique pattern on them. Let me know in the comment section which pumpkin in your opinion came out better. I honestly had so much fun working with both air dry clay and plaster of Paris. And if you enjoyed this video and this project, make sure to give a thumb up and subscribe to my channel for more DIY projects. And now thank you so much for watching, your support, and I will see you in my next video.